All right, so I am back now with the second part of leader and leadership, and this is now I'm continuing with the presentation. So I was on the types of leadership styles. So I discussed till the authoritative leadership style. So moving on now is the servant leadership style. Now, the servant leadership style is about, the phrase servant leadership comes from, it was actually, it was very, very, what you can say, popular in the 20th century, and it was coined by Robert K. Greenleaf through his essay that was published in 1970. The primary purpose is to serve people by building an environment where they can thrive. Examples of servant leaders are Abraham Lincoln, Nelson Mandela, Mother Teresa of Calcutta, then is Abdul Sattar Idi, Shahzad Roy, then is Zafar Abbas from JDC. And last but not the least is the situational leadership style. Now, situational leadership style was developed by Paul Hersey in 1969. It's a flexible framework that enables the leaders to tailor their needs according to the needs of the team or the individual members. And it does not believe in this policy of one size fits all. In fact, there are constant changes which take place in situational leadership, and organizations which are able to deal with emergencies prefer situational leadership styles, such as the hospitals or the medical staff or the firefighters. We even get to see a situational leadership approach also being followed by certain educational institutions. All right. So you see, leader and leadership style is not about, showing you a rosy picture. I did discuss about the advantages of the various leadership styles. But at the same time, if you see, it's important to make you familiar with the disadvantages of each leadership style. And so I will share now the disadvantages. All right. So first comes the transformational leadership style. So you see, since transformational leaders focus on long-term goals of the project, it focuses less on achieving the short-term objectives. Then second is the instructional leadership style. It can result into a more bureaucratic and less creative environment. Then if I talk about the constructivist leadership style, if there is lack of teacher preparation, you can imagine the disaster that lies ahead. And when this happens, it can hamper the students' learning. It requires a lot of pre-planning, ample of time and suitable activities that can cater to, students with different prior knowledge. And if I talk about what you should say, a democratic leadership style, there are three disadvantages that I would like to highlight over here. That is, it results in slow decision making, and it is not effective in times of crisis or emergencies. And every opinion does not get value. And if I talk about the emotional leadership, that is, emotional intelligence can be used in a negative manner by manipulators. Example, a project manager with high emotional intelligence can mislead project executive board members to make wrong decisions, and this can result in huge losses for the company or the organization. Then transactional leadership too has its disadvantages. That is, it tends to focus on rewards to motivate employees, and this creates less focus on maintaining a strong work relationship between the leader and the employees or the team. And the second disadvantage is it is difficult to find rewards that can motivate all the employees. And next I come to is the authoritative leadership style. Now, this style is viewed as controlling or bossy. It can cause, employees to rebel against their leader who acts as a dictator. And then it also serves as chances of receiving, therefore, it reduces actually chances of receiving diverse opinion before making decisions. Then servant leadership, the first disadvantage is that it doesn't work well with every organization. There are some sectors where servant leaders are misfits, and this affects the ability to make wise decisions. And the second disadvantage is that ego has no place in servant leadership. One needs to be selfless and self-sacrificing, in order to display this type of leadership style. And lastly is the situational leadership style. This also has three disadvantages. That is, number one, it overlooks the long-term goals. Number two is that the constant changes can cause confusion. And lastly, it's not effective for those organizations, therefore, which follow the policy of repetitive tasks. So you see, leaders also tend to face certain challenges, and I would like to talk about those challenges over here. The first challenge is actually about honing skills, um, you know, honing effectiveness. So leadership is not about just developing relevant skills such as time management, prioritization, decision making, meeting deadlines. One needs to be effective at work. Number two is inspiring others. It's challenging to inspire, motivate employees to remain satisfied with the job. And lastly, leading a team. It's difficult to maintain team development and team building, and this requires ways to instill pride and how to support and engage in collaboration, how to lead a big team, and how to establish team norms, and how to deal with those who resist change. Remember the pandemic, which happened in 2020? It posed a challenge even for the leaders in terms of, reviewing the policies, where they had to, what you can say, switch from working in a physical environment to a hybrid environment. Then the next challenge was even downsizing the staff, where many people lost their jobs. So you see, these are some challenges which are also faced by leaders. So moving on, I come to is I asked, my research participants which type of leadership style would they like to follow or apply at their workplaces. And you can see on your screen that majority of the votes came for constructivist, then that was with 8 votes, then 7 votes came for democratic, then 5 votes came for transformational, then 4 votes came for situational, and 3 votes came for instructional, and 1 vote came for emotional, whereas transactional, authoritative, and servant did not receive votes. All right. So moving on, now I come to is the importance of leader and leadership. That is, why is it important? Why? Okay, the significance of leader and leadership. You can see on your screens that leader and leadership, the concept actually helps to improve the communication between the leaders and the team members. Then it also helps, when the communication is strong, when there is positive environment, it also helps to improve the productivity or the output of that work. It also helps to create a better work environment, because leaders are those people who who try to keep the needs of the employees before their needs. And when this happens, and with the coaching and the mentoring, obviously it will lead to a better work environment. It also increases the efficiency, because leaders always, they keep that positive environment, active by encouraging their employees. Then they also keep it keeps the employees on track. How on track? Because whatever is going on, the working is obviously being discussed with the team. There's nothing that is hidden or which is not brought to their knowledge. So you see, when this happens, when there's one-to-one channel of communication, so definitely employees will know what's the work progress or how far have they reached, how much they have to put, how much effort has to be put to get that work completed. And also leaders, they motivate the employees, which I've been discussing constantly this point. And leaders themselves, they set good examples in front of others through their positive actions. Then is the leaders themselves, they create a strong vision and direction for their team. That is why they are called leaders. And that is where the topic of inspiration also comes in. So moving on, this is a glimpse of the Padlet activity which I did with my research participants who were educators and teachers. And I actually wanted them to give me the response to what were the qualities of a good leaders. And, you know, I took out the themes from the responses which I had received. So let's see what are those themes. So you see, in simple words, these are the qualities of a good leader: that is strong communication, visionary, positive attitude, motivator, passionate about work, adaptable, then is approachable, team builder, knowledgeable, and then is empathetic, then is responsible, inspires others, and problem solvers. So I am indebted to the teachers and educators who came forward to help me with this research work. Really, the job done by them is something commendable. So moving on, I did another task with them, that was ranking the leadership dimensions. That is, you can see on your screens, that is integrity, vision, inspiration, empathy, passion, acknowledgement, and self-awareness. And do you know what were the results? What they ranked as first, second, and third? Well, I won't keep you waiting. Let's move on. So these are the various, you can see the ranking. For them, according to their research, they had passion first, second empathy, third was vision, then they had self-awareness. Then in the fifth place, they kept integrity, then sixth was acknowledgement, and seventh was inspiration, and the last, they kept purpose. So moving on, I come to the last portion of my presentation, that is the conclusion. So you see, it is imperative for an organization in the 21st century to function with the concept of leader and leadership. Because if there is no concept of leader and leadership, the organization will not be able to function well. There will be, the vision and mission will remain just in paper. There will be no sort of action. Obviously, there will be no one to carry out those things. Then leader and leadership is not just about titles, or it's not about the achievements. It's about, creating a meaningful, impactful, and profound, that means strong, you know, what I should say, a vibe, or what you can say, it's our impact on others, especially the team or the organization. And it is earned through hard work, through resilience, through risk taking, by not being quitters, by by maintaining strong communication skills. And there is no set formula or step-by-step plan. It depends actually upon the needs and culture of a certain organization. So with that, my presentation comes to an end. And I'm thankful to all of you for taking out time for watching this presentation. And I'm thankful to the teachers and educators who helped me with the various research tasks that I had for them, and the responses given by them are greatly appreciated. So after you watch this presentation, I want you to fill the Padlet. There, I'm going to create two Padlet links, which I'll be sharing with you shortly. At the same time, I also want you to fill the Google attendance form. And then for those who did not register themselves for the October session, you're most welcome to watch this presentation and gain insight about leader and leadership. I was asked, a question in my previous presentation. What if a certain person displays some negative qualities towards the employees? Would you regard this person as a leader or a boss? Definitely, I will not regard that person as a leader, but they are bosses, because bosses tend to have this air or attitude about themselves and show these sort of negative qualities. Okay, so take good care of yourselves, and happy teaching and happy learning. And I hope whatever you learn from here, you will be able to implement it in your classrooms or at your workplaces. It's all about persistence, consistency, and dedication towards your work that will bring you positive results. So take good care of yourselves. Allah Hafiz.